Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 4, Chapter 4, Text 22. And Naidena Dehena Hari Kritagaso
Naitena Dehena Hare Kritam Agasaha
Dehod Bhavena Alam Alam Kunjanmana
Deha Udbhavena Alam Alam Kujanmana
Rida Mama Bhut Kujana Prasangatas
Vrida Mama Abhuta Kujan Prasangata
Tanjan Madhikyo Mahatam Avidyakrit.
Tajjanma Dhigya Mahattam Avadkrita.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. You are an offender at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, and unfortunately, I have a body produced from yours. I am very much ashamed of our bodily relationship, and I condemn myself because my body is contaminated by a relationship with a person who is an offender at the lotus feet of the greatest personality. So here Sati is saying, Daksh, you are an offender. The other day we heard Nishinga Maharaj say, there's a difference between one who's a blasphemer and one who's a sinful person. Sinful person, okay, no, like Ajamil was sinful, but by chanting the holy name, he quickly came to the highest platform. But blasphemer, that's something else, That's so here Daksh, he's blaspheming the Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. It is stated, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Shambhu, Lord Shiva, is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. In the previous verses, Sati has described that Lord Shiva is always in a transcendental position because he is situated in pure Vasudev. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Vaishnavas, the devotees of Lord Krishna, are called Vaishnav, of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. And among them, the best is known as Lord Shiva is known as the best. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So he is on the transcendental platform. Lord Shiva, his consciousness is not like ours, material conscious. And Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living entity. We are living entities. We are like ordinary living entities, the Jivatmas. But Lord Shiva, he is not in the category of the Jivatma. He is in his own category. Vasudeva is a state from which Krishna Vasudeva is born. So Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. And Sati's behavior is exemplary because no one should tolerate blasphemy against Lord Vishnu or his devotee. Sati is aggrieved not for her personal association with Lord Shiva, but because her body is related with that of Daksh, who is an offender at Lord Shiva's lotus feet. She feels herself to be condemned because of the body given by her father Daksh. So because she's feeling, oh my God, this body is given to me by you and you're such a blasphemer, I don't want this relationship anymore. And she's very happy to be Lord Shiva's wife because she understands Lord Shiva's transcendental position. But what she does not want is to be related to Daksh. That's the reason she's giving up her life. Gotram Twadiyam Bhagavan Vrishadvajo.
Gotram Todiyam Bhagavan Vrishthvajaha
Dakshayaniti ahayada sudurmana.
Dakshayani iti aha yada sudurmana
Vyapeta narma smitamashu tadaham.
Vyapeta narmitam ashutada aham.
Yutrakshya etat kunapam tvat angajam.
व्युतक्ष्रये
एतत्
व्युतक्ष्रये एतत् कुण्पं त्वदङ्गजमः.
Because of a family relationship, when Lord Shiva addresses me as Dakshayani, I at once become morose, and my jolliness and my smile at once disappear. I feel very much sorry that my body, which is just like a bag, has been produced by you. I shall therefore give it up. So she's feeling bad that Lord Shiva sometimes calls her Dakshayani. The word Dakshayani means the daughter of King Daksh. Sometimes, when there was a relaxed conversation between husband and wife, Lord Shiva used to call Sati the daughter of King Daksh. And because this very word reminded her about her family relationship with King Daksh, she at once became ashamed because Daksh was an incarnation of all offenses. Daksh was the embodiment of envy, for he unnecessarily blasphemed a great personality, Lord Shiva. Simply upon hearing the word Dakshayani, she felt afflicted because of reference to the context, because her body was a symbol of all the offensiveness with which Daksh was endowed. Since her body was constantly a source of unhappiness, she decided to give it up. So she is feeling really ashamed to be related to Daksh because he's such a great offender, a blasphemer at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. He's finding fault in a pure devotee who has no fault. So he's being blasphemous. He's making up things in his head because of his envy.
Sorry, Shilpa.
Yes.
I just wanted to check. That time I should have asked you in the previous verse. It said that Lord Shiva is pure Vasudev. So does Vasudev here means father? I mean Krishna's father.
Vasudev is also the liberated platform. The Vasudev, mm,
Okay.
the Shuddha Sattva, the
Oh,
pure goodness
pure
above
goodness.
the,
That's what it
yes,
means, right? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Vasudev, pure goodness,
Yeah.
also called Vasudev platform. So it's
Oh,
a liberated platform beyond the modes of material nature.
okay. Okay. So nothing to do with
No.
Vasudev Devaki. Okay.
Mm. So, but we heard also that it's only on this platform, Vasudev platform, can we understand the science of Krishna. Can we begin to understand Krishna? So, from the liberated platform, we can actually understand Krishna's position.
Oh,
Maitreya Vacha
Maitri.
मैत्रेय उवाच
iti advare dakshamanudya shatruhan
Iti
इति अध्वरे दक्षम्
Daksham
अनूदशत्रुहन
Anushastu
shitavadichem nishadashantavak.
Shita
इति
Udichim
उदीचिं निषादशान्तवाक्कः
Sprishtva jalam pita dukula samvrita
Sprishtva
स्पृष्टा जलं
Jalam
पितः
Pita Duktaula
दुकूलसंभृता
nimilya drigyogapatham samavishat.
Nimilya
निमील्य
Drigyoga
द्रव्योगप्रथं
Patham
समाविशत्
Maitreya the sage told Vidur, O annihilator of enemies, while thus speaking to her father in the arena of sacrifice, Sati sat down on the ground and faced north, dressed in saffron garments. She sanctified herself with water and closed her eyes to absorb herself in the process of mystic yoga. It is said that when a man desires to quit his body, he dresses in saffron garments. Therefore, it appears that Sati changed her dress, indicating that she was going to quit the body given her by Daksh. So she was dressed up, huh? She was all dressed up to come to the to the yajna, to this big sacrifice, but now she has changed into saffron clothes. I wonder why nobody stopped her, if she had the time to change. But anyway, so Daksh was Sati's father. So instead of killing Daksh, she decided it would be better to destroy the part of his body which was hers. Thus, she decided to give up the body of Daksh by the yogic process. Sati was the wife of Lord Shiva, who is known as Yogeshwar, the best among all yogis, because he knows all the mystic processes of yoga. So it appeared that Sati also knew them. So Lord Shiva is known as Yogeshwar. Why? Master of the yogis, the best of the yogis. And Sati, being his wife, also has the science of mystic yoga. Krishna is known as Yogeshwar also. Krishna is the master of all the yogis, master of all the mystic processes. So it seems Sati also knows how to use this art. Either she learned yoga from her husband or she was enlightened because she was the daughter of such a great king as Daksh. The perfection of yoga is that one can give up one's body or release oneself from the embodiment of material elements according to one's desire. So we were reading in Bhagavad Gita, I think, yeah, chapter 8, where Krishna is telling Arjuna how the yogi is sitting down in a proper position. He calculates where is the sun, where is the moon, is it auspicious time of the day, and gradually he lifts his life air up and he wants to leave his body from the top of his head. And so means the yogis have the capacity or the capability to leave the body at their will. They decide when I want to leave my body. Yogis who have attained perfection are not subject to death by natural laws. Such perfect yogis can leave the body whenever they desire. Does anyone know of anyone who left the body according to their desire whenever they desired?
Also, Shankaracharya did that.
Or it really is it?
Yes.
He
Yes.
decided the time he wanted to leave. Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
had left his body under the protection of his students and he had gone.
Uh-huh. And so
He left his body, went and came back in a month's time to back to his body.
oh wow. Wow, that's
Yes.
interesting. Yeah. So that requires so much qualification to be doing that.
Correct.
And also Bhishma
That's right.
Maharaj.
Bhishma, yeah.
Mm.
He
Great
decided
son.
when he wants to give up the body. He waited, the sun is going to come in the north. He waited till Krishna comes to see him. Then he gave up his body. And anyone else? What I remember is of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, like how Bhishma left his body, decided when to leave his body, Haridas Thakur did the same. He left his body by his will when Lord Chaitanya was in front of him. He fixed his eyes on Lord Chaitanya and he gave up his body. So reading on, generally the yogi first of all becomes mature in controlling the air passing within the body, thus bringing the soul to the top of the brain. Then when the body bursts into flames, the yogi can go anywhere he likes. So this is like the Ashtanga yogi, the body bursts into flames because they can control the airs moving. Then they lift the soul up to the head and the body becomes. Also Dhritarashtra, after he gets knowledge from Vidur, he goes to the forest and he does this yoga process and he gives his life up like that. This yoga system recognizes the soul and thus it is distinct from the so-called yoga process for controlling the cells of the body, which has been discovered in the modern age. The real yoga process accepts the transmigration of the soul from one planet to another or one body to another. And it appears from this incident that Sati wanted to transfer her soul to another body or sphere. So this Prabhupada is bringing to our attention that this is the real yoga process, and anyone who is a real yogi can understand there is a difference between body and soul, and that the soul never dies, the soul is eternal, and that there is transmigration of the soul either from one body to another in the material world or totally to another sphere, going to the spiritual world. So she's going to give up her life. Let's not get into the text. Did anyone want to comment or say anything? She's taking a very difficult, what do you say, decision to give up your own life like that, right? But she's so much afflicted by Daksha's harsh words and Daksha's enviousness towards Lord Shiva.
And it's also quite clear that why she gave her body. Like previously, when we have just heard, this wasn't that much clarified, but it's quite clarified now that what was the reason, because she was daughter of Daksha. The body was given to her by Daksha. So that's why she gave away the body. Yeah.
That's right. She wants nothing to do with she doesn't want to be related to Daksha anymore. She's like, enough. I don't want to be your relative, related to you in any way.
Yeah, and I think Lord Shiva had already warned her and told her that, it can cause a lot of sorrow, and it to that extent that, you can give up your body.
Yeah.
That I think it had said, we had read it, right?
He said that
Yeah.
because when we hear sharp words from a friend, then we are not able to tolerate it. It's okay if we
Yes.
hear sharp words from an enemy. We know, okay, it's fine. Enemy will speak like that.
Yeah.
But somebody who we think is close to us, we are not able to bear sharp words from them.
Correct.
That pierces our heart.
Yeah, like in Hindi we say ना कि जो when your अपने जब hurt करते हैं तो सबसे ज़्यादा दुख होता है.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we'll stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it.